Welcome, everyone. Thank you again for joining our Facebook Live series, Get to Know Your Neighbor. I'm your host, Cameron Geesaman with Geesaman. Wow, I can't even say my last name tonight. Geesaman Homes. It's going to be a good one tonight. We are live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 on Facebook, where I will be introducing you to our incredible neighbors here in Fishers, Indiana. As we grow our channel, we're adding a little bit to kind of the beginning. I'm asking a favor of all of you viewers. Would you please click the like button, share on your page now, and then comment with an emoji letting us know you're here. Make sure to stay tuned all the way through. Towards the end, we are going to do a giveaway for a $50 gift card to Chili's restaurant. I posted on my Instagram and Facebook that we got some sponsors, and we're really excited about that. So tonight should be a kind of a fun trip down memory lane. As you can see, I'm wearing my Royals track uniform because I'm pretty much going back to when I went to high school at Hamilton Southeastern High School. I'm interviewing Jim Self, the current athletic director at Hamilton Southeastern High School. But I'll kind of really always remember him as my track coach because he was not the athletic director when I went there. If you've been at sporting events at HSE, you've most likely seen Jim there, or at least you've heard him cheering on his students. Jim started working at HSE in 1994 and taught several classes, keyboarding being the one I took. Jim lives in Fishers, Indiana with his wife, Leanne, who happened to actually also be my basketball coach. So I got all of the selves. They have 3 children. Jim is passionate about all things HSE athletics, and we hope you feel his passion for helping student athletes achieve greatness at Hamilton Southeastern High School. So please welcome Jim Self. There he is. Welcome.
Hello, Cameron. How are you?
Thanks. That was very good.
I've been practicing. Look at you in that jersey. Weren't you supposed to return that?
I think I paid a lots and lots of money for said jersey.
Okay.
So, no. Or were we supposed to, like, legitimately, you're supposed to turn it in your senior year?
No, I think because you qualified for the state meet, you automatically got it.
Oh, I don't remember that either, but we'll go with it.
Neither do I.
I pulled it out of storage today, and even today, like, there's still the safety pin for holding the state meet my senior year.
Okay, Cameron, here's the question. You ready?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Why did you have the numbers on the front of your jersey?
Oh, see, this is going to be great. Guys, I just want you to know this is going to be a great interview because I think he's going to ask me as many questions as I'm going to ask him. I wore it on the front because I high jumped. And here's the thing. If you high jump and you land on your back, I've done it. It hurts. It's not pleasant. I have to admit, here's the thing. My back is really screwed because of high jump. Thanks.
Blaming me?
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I
tried to make you a hurdler, so.
Rena Twilley was way better at hurdling than I was. So no hurdles. I would die. I know I'm tall.
I think she gave her jersey back.
Of course she did, because she was a good athlete. I didn't keep my basketball stuff. Leanne should be happy about that.
Yeah. I hope Ken Seitz isn't watching tonight because he'd yell at me in retirement.
Yes, he probably would. I kept it, and funny enough, I know this is really weird, but I still have my high jump, like my spikes.
Do you really?
I do.
That's awesome.
I think some part of me believes that I can jump over a pole someday.
There you go.
No.
There you go. What was you were 5'4". Is that right? How high did you jump?
I think my highest was 5'6".
Was it really? Okay.
And I got taken right off that wall when all those people came and beat me.
We've had some good ones, that's for sure.
What's the highest? Do you know the highest that's ever?
I don't think it's much higher than 5'6". I think 5'7" or 5'8" is our school record.
Here's the thing. I got 5'6", not officially.
What's that mean? You cheated?
I did. People held it and then they threw me over the bar.
Yeah. What, your dad measure or something? Or, I mean, that sounds like maybe you had your dad measure.
No, I did it before we were like practicing or whatever before a meet, and I did it before a meet, but then I couldn't ever do it in a meet.
I think I made you nervous.
You made me nervous?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember that you made me do the first event of the meet and the last event of the meet.
I remember a lot of whining by you of having to run the 1,600-meter relay. Lots of whining.
I think that might be your only memory of me is my whining.
That's not true.
I did a lot of it.
Remember, I knew you when you weren't Cameron.
I know. We're not talking about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so for everybody that's joining us, well, I need that. Sorry. My producer is not paying attention. So we're going to kind of go through some questions. So if you're just now joining, for anybody who's joining, again, we do ask that you put an emoji in the like questions below, comments below. I'm still new at this, so bear with me. So you put comments below, and that allows us to see who's joined the chat. If you join and you don't give a thumbs up or a chat, then we don't see you. So we just ask that you do that. And then if you have questions for Jim or for me, then that's great too. But we're going to start off with the focus. I got to take this off. It's like, well, one, it's making me hot. And two, I don't go there anymore. And Chris Hebert's going to give me a really hard time.
You'll like it because it's got some red in it.
You know, did you watch the one where we talked to Ryan Allwert?
No, but I would have loved it.
Oh, well, you can go back and watch it. But Ryan did a song for HSE, and he was questioning the fact that in the theme song, fight song, difference, I guess, fight song, it still says red, white, blue, and red is not part of the school anymore. It's just
sure it's part of our school. Sure it is. And it's going to stay in our fight song. We just tell our coaches that our predominant colors are blue and white, and the Tigers get the red. So we were just being fair.
They do get the red. I did see that you got some really fun Tiger gear from a fellow.
Yeah, that's rotten. I have it right here. I haven't put it together yet, but that was.
I think you should put it together.
You have friends like that.
And mail it back. I'm telling you,
I need to put it together. You're right, and mail it back.
And mail it back with like something written on it. I'm not.
Yeah, like Go Tigers or something. I don't know. I don't know that I could write that.
You could write Go Royals with the thing through the tiger.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm doing this. This isn't good. He's not going to like me now. Okay. So for anybody that's joining, the reason I wanted Jim Self on is because, again, he came to Fishers and started working in 1994. And you just have a different perspective because you know, I walked away from it because I went to college, right, for a little bit. And then I came back. So I'm kind of just interested in a lot of things. First question, though, is what comes to mind when you think of the city of Fishers?
It's got to be the growth. I mean, obviously, I'll never forget interviewing in 1994. I was at Bloomington South. I come up to interview, and I didn't know there was an exit 10. Now it's called exit 210. So I got off at exit 5. And I get off on 37, and I drive. I turn right there by Reynolds Farm Equipment on 126th Street, and I drive out to HSE, and I'm thinking, where in the world am I going? I felt like I was in the middle of nowhere. So I've seen a lot of changes, a lot of growth in my time since 1994. Yeah.
See, when I graduated in 98, there were 300 of us that graduated.
Isn't that amazing?
How many are there now?
Oh my goodness, between the two. I mean, I think I'm going to get my numbers wrong, but I think we're pushing 850 kids. Fishers is more than that.
Yeah.
So it's unbelievable.
I think that when I was doing research, I was looking at stuff. When I graduated, there were like, what, 9,000 people in Fishers, and then now there's like 90 to
Yeah.
100,000. It's crazy. But what made you choose Fishers and as a place to live? But then also, I'm going to kind of give an extra to that. Why did you stay in Fishers? Because especially with that much growth, some people can be turned off by that. But like, what made you stay?
Well, I never anticipated the kind of growth that came after I got here. I just didn't anticipate that. But I just think it is a city, back then a town. The schools have high expectations. I mean, why wouldn't you want to work and raise your children in a place like Fishers, where, quite honestly, the families have high expectations of our teachers, they have high expectations of our coaches, they have high expectations of their kids that are athletes, student athletes. Well, it's just a great place to raise a family. And I've done it. I've been blessed to raise 3 right here.
Because one's married now, right?
Tells you how old I am. Yes, I have a 24-year-old that's in her first year teaching she's at Stony Creek in Noblesville and got married last summer. So I walked her down the aisle. What a blessing.
That's awesome. One's a senior.
Yeah, no, I have Eli, who just finished his sophomore year at Indiana Wesleyan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I have Hannah, who's 24. Eli is just finished his sophomore year at Indiana Wesleyan, and then I have Lydia, who will be a senior next year, is in the finishing up her junior year.
That's who I was thinking of. Okay.
Yep.
And they grew up here. I remember when you had them.
We just Leanne was a stay-at-home mom for a long time. She taught and coached, and then when we had children, we decided that it was best for our family for her to stay home. But we just always felt like Hamilton Southeastern athletic events, whether she was coaching or I was coaching or when I became athletic director, just a great place to raise our kids.
Anybody that's joining, we have a couple of people that are joining. I wanted to remind people that towards the end, we're going to do a giveaway. Chili's, the person who actually happens to be up on the screen, Mr. Chris Hebert, was kind enough to sponsor our little show here. And he is offering a $50 gift card to Chili's restaurant. And so you kind of have to stay tuned, and we're going to ask a question. I might actually ask Jim to ask the question. And that way, whoever answers it correctly then has a chance to win that gift card. So thank you, Chris, for that. He, of course, is going to post things about how Fishers is red's better than blue. Here's the thing. I like red and blue. Austin Bowman, look at that.
How about that? That's a beautiful family. Look at that beautiful family.
I think it's hilarious that Austin says you look the same because he looks the same.
Yeah.
We're just going to go there because Austin, he does. He looks the same. Okay. So next question. Did you always want to be a coach? And what is your fondest memory?
Absolutely. I always wanted to be a coach. My father, no question, was my hero. My dad was a 39-year classroom teacher, taught U.S. history and government, and coached all sorts of different things. And I have very fond memories growing up with my dad coaching. And I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be like my father. So I really didn't give much thought to becoming an athletic director. I knew I wanted to teach. I knew I wanted to coach. And so that was a very easy decision for me. And even now that I've been out of coaching for an awfully long time, I miss it. I miss that daily interaction with kids and coaching kids and seeing kids reach their potential and dream big and get those goals.
I feel like you're still doing that because you still go to the games and still interact with all the kids and are still motivating kids, even though you're not coaching them directly.
Well, I get the best of both worlds. Somebody asked me what I love about being an athletic director. Maybe that's one of your questions. I didn't look at them that close, but I get to combine my two passions, kids and athletics, and they pay me for it. What a blessing. I mean, I love being around kids and I love being around athletics. So are you kidding me? That's a job? That hardly seems fair that they pay me for it.
What did your dad coach?
He coached everything. Coached football for a long time. Coached boys track, girls track, and he did some cross country at one point in time as well. So
what all sports did you coach? Because I know you from track, but what else?
Yeah. The only two sports I coached were football and girls track. Were the only two before I became athletic director. I always tell people I'm the only athletic director in the state of Indiana that's been a head coach that's never had the difficult time of cutting a kid. When our poor coaches come in and start talking about when they have to pick a team and they make difficult cuts, I have so much empathy for them because I never had to do that in football and I never had to do that in track. I just was blessed to coach two sports and everybody got to participate. They may not get to play, but they got to participate.
Yeah. Is it still that way at HSE? Like if everybody goes out for track, everybody can still run?
Yeah, they do a time trial, but I think there's numbers at both Fishers and Hamilton Southeastern are huge. We're not cutting in football. We're not cutting in track.
That's good to know. Are those the only sports that is the case?
No, Coach Peterson doesn't cut in swimming. First of all, you better love to swim if you want to do that. And our wrestling program doesn't cut as well. So we have some. Cross country definitely does not cut. So
you can
think there's a time trial, but most of our kids are making that time.
That's good that there's still at least some sports that's the case.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but in Fishers, it is hard. Even as parents, we've realized it's that dilemma of, do you start your kids when they're 2 years old to try to do the one sport so that they can, like, it's hard. And Adam and I are not that type of parent. Like, we're like, you can do one sport. And you know what? If in high school you decide you want to do basketball, if you're good enough, you'll make the team.
Right. Well, and I love that you brought that up. We just had a Zoom with our coaches last week and talked about the value and the importance of being a multi-sport athlete. And the truth is, with my own children, Hannah was a soccer player. Eli long snapped in football, and those are the only two things that those two did. But Lydia has been a basketball player and a soccer player, and I'm thankful that she's got to do both. And I always tell kids, keep playing multiple sports until somebody tells you you're not good enough to do it. Kids are getting pulled in a lot of different directions, and I think, Cameron, one of the biggest differences we've seen is travel sports and the money that parents have put in to travel sports.
So much.
I always worry about a kid that just plays one, that they just get burned out and there's no tread on their tires by the time they're a junior or senior in high school.
Right. Well, I think you can learn skills. Like for me, I learned skills, like things that I did in basketball, the quick release, that helped me in track.
Yeah.
So, and we tell our kids, like, I only say we're just not a multi-sport where we're not the parents where it's like, okay, you're doing football and you're also in baseball. And then we're also going to be in club basketball all in the same season.
Yeah.
We try to be like, okay, pick a sport. Okay, let's change it up. You did soccer. Now let's do baseball. I really want Austin, my oldest, to try volleyball. Boys volleyball would be so fun to watch.
Yeah, it is fun. Well, and I look at Lydia, who my junior, and we just don't allow her during basketball season. She's a basketball player and she doesn't do any travel soccer. And during soccer season, she's not doing any basketball. And there's some people that would probably say, boy, she's missed some opportunities to travel with the soccer team. The truth is, she was blessed. You asked one of my favorite memories. Lydia, as a sophomore in high school, was on the state championship basketball team. She was a role player, one of the first two kids off the bench. But what a great experience that was for her. And if she would have been only done soccer, she'd have never got that opportunity.
Swimming, I am going to mention that. Swimming, you have to like it. Our kids tried swimming. And because we figured, okay, Adam did swimming, Eric did swimming. Like, we're thin people. You'll slide through the water. It's a great idea. They did not think so much. They were like, it's cold in this pool.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Our swimmers are tough kids. I just have a great deal of respect for a kid that's jumping in a pool at 5:30 in the morning. And those kids are disciplined, but they are, and your husband's probably this way. Some of his best friends in the whole wide world were probably people that he swam with. Yep. And they are family. I love our swim program because the parents are friends, the kids are friends. I think they're friends for life. I really do.
Oh, yeah. Well, so we just met one of our clients, Abby Witt.
Yeah.
And we love Abby, and of course her kids swim. So even when we were walking through the house today, it was kind of funny because, the kids have all of their, medals on their walls. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have so many, but they're so committed, and it is a family. Like even I think it starts because it starts at the club level, right? Like Andy does such a good job with all of it. So, and I know we even talked.
You want to hear something neat about Andy, and Adam probably knows this. Here he is, our head swim coach, and has been for years. And his oldest daughter is going to be, she's one of our first in a while. She's going to earn 12 varsity letters from Hamilton Southeastern. She was a cross country kid. She was a swimmer, and she's a track athlete. And she's going to earn 12 varsity letters. And I am so proud of her. And the truth is, she could have probably excelled in swimming if she'd have gave up running. But she chose to be a multi-sport athlete, and what a great experience for her.
I do not have 12 letters.
Me neither.
Austin Bowman, funny enough, says I'm not allowed to call you Jim. I can't. Here's the thing, Austin. I can't call him Coach Self because he's not a coach anymore. So, and Mr. Self sounds. I felt like you wouldn't want that.
You've earned the right to call me Jim, but it's funny that Austin said that because every time I see him, he calls me Coach Self. And I like it. I got to tell you, I love being Coach Self.
I would call you Coach Self, but then when I talked to you the other day and you're like, well, I'm not really coaching anymore. I'm like, okay, Jim.
Yeah, you're allowed to call me Jim.
So I think I one time my senior year called you Jim, and that was not a good decision.
I turn redheaded on you?
I might have gotten thrown out of practice. We were arguing, like we always do, my senior year. I disagreed with you. I was really dumb when I was younger. I thought I knew more than you did, which was really
you might have.
Not a bright moment of mine. And you threw me out of practice. I remember it to today.
There you go.
It's fun. For those of you that are just joining, I'm Cameron Geesaman with Geesaman Homes. This is Jim Self. He is the athletic director at Hamilton Southeastern High School and was my track coach when I went to Hamilton Southeastern. It's kind of neat going down memory lane. So let's go to the teacher side of Mr. Coach Jim Self. What classes did you teach?
Before I became athletic director, my degree is in business education and I have a minor in physical education. So I taught all sorts of different classes in business. I taught business law, business math, keyboarding. I think I even taught some intro to business at one point in time. And then at lunch every day, I changed clothes and I had adaptive physical education. And that was the mildly mentally handicapped kids in PE. And I loved it. If I could go back and do that again, it was like stealing money. I got to play with kids for an hour. What a blessing.
That was at HSE?
Yeah. I did it both at Bloomington South and at Hamilton Southeastern.
I didn't know that. That's really cool. I didn't even know that they had that type of a class or program.
Oh, so fun.
Do they demand or not demand? Do they require those business courses? Because I think they should.
No, they don't. Matter of fact, keyboarding is not even taught anymore. That scares me to death that kids are going to grow up and not know how to type properly.
I was talking to, I'll throw out a name. I don't know if you knew her. Heather Hyatt. You knew Kelly Hyatt.
Yeah.
But Heather Hyatt, another friend and client of ours, she and I were talking about ideas to give the kids during the summer on like skills to learn. And she's like, I'm going to have them do typing. And we were talking and it's like, I don't remember them. Like, why is that not taught? Like, especially with as much computers are around now. Right.
I wonder if they just think that are doing it at a younger age and kids are learning it. But I think what she's thinking is the right thing. You got to make your kid, you just become so much more proficient at it if you just do it and practice it. I would love to go back and teach a summer class, a week-long intensive in keyboarding, just to teach kids how to type correctly. Because think how much time that saved you in your profession, in your college career, because you knew how to type.
Hashtag fact. Coach Habeger. Oh yeah. I haven't heard that name in a while. What is he up to?
He and I work together. We are the two athletic directors at Hamilton Southeastern. Yes. I love it. I love working with him.
He such a great guy. Both of you. And I think that's also why I think people stay and why we've gotten such a good school district, because sports are such a big aspect of, I personally think, of academics, in like the cohesion of the two, right? I've always told my kids, you have to be part of something. I don't care what it is. It can be a sport. It can be, music. It can be art. You have to be involved in an extracurricular activity. And having you two, because I didn't know he was still doing it, having you two is, I mean, I'm personally going to say it's probably a testament as to why our school, the school district is as good as it is. So thank you.
Well, thank you. That's very nice. We've been blessed, no question.
I know we talked a little bit, but what's your favorite part of being an athletic director? You kind of mentioned that you get the best of both worlds, but is there any other part of it that you really fully enjoy?
I like watching the kids grow. I love to watch our coaches coach and build those relationships with kids and get kids out of their comfort zone and get kids to reach their potential. I just think there is such life lessons that can be learned through high school athletics. You got Austin on here, who was a golfer. Well, I think he can accredit some of the success he has in life as a dad and as a businessman by the successes he had on a golf course as a high school kid. And I just believe in the value of high school athletics and the life lessons that it can teach. And I love the fact that I get to work with coaches and help shape and mold lives of young kids.
So is that essentially what you do? Kind of explain what, because I mean, I know from my perspective of what I think an athletic director does, but like, can you say what your goals are and what you do?
Yeah, good question. 20 years ago when I became an athletic director, I thought the same thing. What am I going to do all day long? And it's amazing how fast the day goes. I am hiring officials. I am scheduling games. I am scheduling our facilities. I think the most important job I have is hiring coaches. And then we evaluate coaches and we work with coaches to help them grow and get better. One of my favorite things to do is to go watch practices. I love to watch coaches coach. I love to watch kids compete. So those are the things that on a daily basis I'm doing. Seems like the longer I'm in this, the more meetings we seem to have. So I'm taken out of the office quite a bit, but I'm always looking for a way. I try and remember why I went into education. And I went into education to be around kids. And now that I'm an athletic director, I try and find ways to get that kid fixed. And whether that's going out to baseball practice, softball practice, going in the pool, I want to see kids.
That's really, I think that you've embodied that your entire career.
Thank you. I hope so. It's pretty natural for me. It's what I knew I wanted to do. And, again, when you're passionate about it, it doesn't seem like work.
Here's the thing though. I think it's nice to see a constant face. It shows the dedication. It shows the quality of not just you, of the school. Like for me to have graduated many years ago. Well, 98. Oh, Melissa Cunningham, seeing him bring back tons of memories. I know, so many memories. I have to admit, like I see you from time to time because we go to games, like we'll go to football games and stuff. And it's interesting because whenever I run into you, it's always so fun because it brings back just so many memories. And so when we were putting together this show, I was trying to, who do we want to call? And your name popped up fairly quickly. But in my mind, I was a little apprehensive because I was like, he's not going to want to talk with me. So I really appreciate you saying yes, first off. And again, it comes back to that consistency, right? I mean, you've been there for so many years that I don't know if there's really a person. I know that there's Fishers and there's HSE, right? Like I get it. There's 2 high schools now, but even a lot of the Fishers people know who you are. And so it's like almost everybody, like you say, Jim Self, and in my opinion, pillar of the community. You've been here forever.
Thank you. And you bring up the 2 high schools, and I know Chris is on here. Somebody asked me, it's been a couple years ago, but what in my time as athletic director, what am I most proud of? And I think it'd be easy to talk about a state championship or a kid winning a mental attitude award or winning a conference all sports trophy. Those are all things. But I think I just don't know how many other communities could split high schools and be as successful as Fishers and Hamilton Southeastern have continued to be, not just in athletics, but academics and fine arts and music and band. I just, there's such a, for me, there's such a sense of pride in that, because again, we're in a community that has high expectations. And I love the fact that both schools are thriving, are doing great things. And I don't think it'll happen in my career, but you can see where our schools are getting crowded now. And at some point in time, the dreaded redistricting and splitting into a 3rd high school. And I just think we've proved that we can survive, that we can thrive.
There'll be the white for anybody else that's watching. There'll be red, white, and blue.
No, I got it figured out. You ready?
Oh, okay.
I've spent time on this.
Okay.
So we're the Royals, right? Which are the Lions.
The
Fishers Tigers. Then it would have to be the Durban Bears.
Yes.
We'd have Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my.
Oh my.
Wouldn't that be great?
I swear it's perfect. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so Eric had a really great question that I actually am sad that I didn't think of. How has technology changed or been leveraged to help in both education and athletics over your tenure?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Really? Eric, do you want to write my questions from here on out?
Well, I think it's amazing. Just in terms of videotape and trading tape between football and basketball and volleyball. They now all trade tape electronically instead of having to go, like when you play we play Noblesville, and we may get tape from Westfield, we may get tape from Fishers, and now they do that electronically. I think about your husband and his brother, both swimmers. You go into a swim meet now and everything's electronically timed. They still have the people over there with the stopwatch, but they're backup. A track meet for us is all electronically timed. Kimmy, you high jump. Cameron.
It's all right.
You high jumping now. I can take my iPad or I can take my phone and I can videotape you high jumping 5.4, and you make it or you miss it. And I can coach you immediately on what you did right and what you did wrong.
Yeah. It's funny. We have one tape. My parents have. I still have the VH tape. And we've kept this one little itty bitty TV that used to be Adams in college because it plays VHS tapes. And it's the one thing that it's interesting in my mind, just like what you were saying, to be able to go back and watch that. If I could have watched it right after I did it, game changer.
There's no question. Our football team, Fishers probably does the same thing. Offense comes off the field, they sit on a bench, and they show them in zone camera view of what blocking schemes or what technique the defense. It's immediate feedback. Immediate. Hey, I have a question for you about that tape.
No.
Was it black and white?
I don't like you anymore.
I never wish you never had me on.
I don't think it was. My parents kept all of the newspaper clippings though, so I have to go. Like I have all of those and stuff, but it's in a box somewhere. I try not to look at it because was better then, and I can't jump worth anything or run. Like running, oh, well, and it's funny because I ran cross country, but I hated it. I did it for 2 seasons, and I only did it because you recommended that I do it to keep up with my skills, right? And so I did it, which was fine. But then when I went to Ball State, to do track, because that's where I got a scholarship for. So when I went to Ball State, the coach had me doing cross country, and it just destroyed my shins because he was pushing me harder, and I gave up my freshman year.
There you go.
It was like, oh, like I wish that we would have had kind of like what we were talking about with technology to see myself, because I was competing at a much higher level at that point. And I don't feel like I had the coaching. Like I didn't have Coach Self behind me or have that. It wasn't the same. And when because I had you all 4 years, because you started in 94. So you were 1 year before I got to high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I did high jump in junior high as well.
I remember.
So, still friends with Amanda Burt. It's funny, we kind of joke about it, and Amanda Best still lives close, and I don't really talk to her much, but it was a small group.
It's something, and obviously you and Adam being in real estate, I am amazed at the number of kids that I have taught and coached that have stayed right here in Fishers, Indiana, or come back to Fishers, Indiana. I think that tells you what type of city this is, that people just want to be a part of it. It's a neat, what a great place to grow up, and what a great place to raise your family.
There's no reason to leave, in my opinion, but I like all 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. People always ask, why Indiana? Why would you go back to that? It's just such a great place. And that's kind of why we did this show, was to really just highlight the Fishers community and what we are. Yes, Adam and I are real estate agents, which is great, but we do a lot of business in Fishers, and yet there's a lot of people we don't know. When you go from, it's funny, in high school, everybody said I knew everybody, right? Well, but there were only 9,000 people in the city. I don't know everybody anymore, and I want to get to know everybody. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of leads me to that next question of, who do you think we should interview? Which we kind of talked about this a little bit, but to kind of show Fishers and why Fishers is such a good place to live and or even come back and, raise a family in. Are there some people that you think that we need to interview, or that you could introduce us to interview, kind of show?
It's going to sound like a politically correct answer, but I sure think, Dr. Boroff, superintendent of schools, he's someone that I bet would love to jump on here with you. And he's so proud of what goes on at Hamilton Southeastern and Fishers High School and our whole community.
So it's hard. I've kind of picked people that I know. I don't know him, so I would ask for a connection, because I would love that, to get somebody like that kind of can really speak to why HSE even more than what you've said tonight.
Sure. 2 young people that I thought of when you first asked me that question. Again, I just think we have people in our community doing amazing things. Jeremy Chin's a young man that just graduated from Southern Illinois, got drafted in the NFL draft. He was a 2nd round pick, I believe, by the Carolina Panthers. Went to Riverside Junior High, played at Fishers High School, and what a story he is. I have found myself becoming a Jeremy Chin fan. And then, we just had Miss Basketball. We just had Sydney Parrish, best basketball player in the state of Indiana. I think it'd be fun to get a young person's perspective on what it was like to grow up at Hamilton Southeastern or Fishers High School and grow up in this community and find out. I think Jeremy Chin is really proud to be a Fishers Tiger. I know darn good well that Sydney Parrish is going to University of Oregon next year on a basketball scholarship, but at the end of the day, she's a Hamilton Southeastern Royal. So those might be fun young people to enter. You get tired of those old people like Ryan Allward. Get some young people in here.
Ryan's not going to like you saying that.
I called him frozen syrup in high school one time, and he's reminded me of that forever. I told him he was as slow as frozen syrup.
What was he doing? Was that his one time where he tried football?
No, he was a good football player. He would have started for us as a junior, and he decided to give it up to go be in musicals and plays. And I loved that he did it.
It's
His
okay.
passion.
He's
Worked
so
out well for him.
He's so talented. And
Yeah, he is the slowest frozen syrup. I hope Gus is faster than him.
I don't think Gus is going to be faster than him. Gus is the most mellow. Oh, he's mellow, and I love him, and I want to squeeze him.
Hey,
Yes.
here's my Ryan Allward connection. You ready? Here's how much we love Ryan Allward. He sang at Hannah's wedding, my daughter's wedding, and he and his wife and their band played at the reception. So Ryan sang a worship song at their wedding, unbelievable. And then he and Lauren rocked it at the reception. It was awesome.
They will play at something for us. I'm not sure yet. Our tunes are
Invite me.
Okay, so we're going to reset real quick. I'm Cameron Geesaman with Geesaman Homes, and this is Jim Self with the Hamilton Southeastern High School Athletic Director. We are going to do a giveaway here in a second, and so we want to make sure that you're tuned in. So here in a second, we're going to ask a question, and you're going to answer it, and then we're going to give away a $50 gift certificate to Chili's Restaurant. Adam has a good question, but I will say, ooh, look at those new scrolling. Adam's
How about that?
Real fancy here.
Yeah.
He handles all the back end, so that's kind of nice. So do you have, okay, so Adam has a question. But you kind of gave the answer a little bit ago, what we've been doing. I feel like that's good for the people that were watching, right? I think that that's fair. Unless, Jim, you have a question that you specifically want to ask.
No, I want to hear Adam's.
Okay. It's not real fancy, but it's a good question. Before we do that, I want to, actually, I need to scroll just a second here. We always ask a specific question to all of our guests, and I didn't prep you with this one, so I'm kind of interested to hear. I'm just going to do it now. Because we are real estate agents, I dig into kind of people's lives. We really try to get to know our clients more than just be a transactional real estate team. I try to become, most of our clients are friends. So, because afterwards I make them be my friend. Because I just like people. Anyways, one of the questions I ask almost all of my clients is, what is your favorite part of your home and why?
Well, we are way up in the country. We're 191st in Cynthia Ann Road.
You're by Gary Reynolds.
We are. We're not as far north as Gary, but we're getting there. We're close. And we have 5 acres. And kind of have the run of 80 acres. We kind of get to play on 80 acres. And I love the way our house sits, the way it faces. Out front, we look across the road, and it's a horse farm. And out back is a field, but then trees and Stony Creek. So we love it here, and we're not going anywhere.
I'd say, how many years left do we have in Coach Mr. Jim Self?
That's a really good, well, I will tell you, with what we're dealing with in society right now, it made me realize I'll be a bad retired person. I need to be doing something, and I need to be around people. I will be 52 next month. I tell people I'm getting old, but I'm really immature. I would like to go till I'm 62. That would give me 30 years in athletic administration. As long as I don't get myself in trouble, I think I can do that.
That's not long enough. How long was Sykes there?
I think Coach got out when he was 57 or 58. I think I can get 30 years in. I think I can.
Oh, I think you can go longer.
And I might. I have.
You're not out there.
I don't think I'll be a good retired person.
I won't be.
I think I'd be bad.
Nope. I will.
Why would you retire?
Yeah, I will always do something. I can't sit.
Yeah.
I can't sit. Okay, so it is giveaway time. Thank you for that, because I always like kind of hearing what because it tells me a little bit about who you are and what you love and all of that. So That's kind of what I love. So here is the question that is where you have a chance to win $50 in a gift certificate to Chili's. Below, the person who answers it correctly and spells it correctly, because we've apparently learned that if you spell it wrong, then it's not the right answer. But if you answer it correctly and you spell it correctly, then the first person who answers during the live event, because we will save this and repost it, you can't win it then, so sorry. So the question is, what is the Hamilton Southeastern High School mascot? And this is where you go, no, I don't. Last time I kind of like dragged it out. So if anybody's just now joining, I saw a couple people just pop on. If you want to win a $50 gift certificate to Chili's restaurant, you have to answer, what is the Hamilton Southeastern High School mascot? Allison Stroll, yes! She's just going to keep winning. I love that she's on here because she's amazing. And I dropped off a knife for her the other day. Well, awesome, Allison. I will get you a $50 gift certificate to Chili's. But before we leave, Jim, I just want to say thank you so much. Coach Self, I guess I should say. You will always be Coach Self to me. I always love running into you and seeing you at sporting events, and it makes me happy to see a familiar face. And so hopefully some of our viewers will also start to see a familiar face. And that's our goal, is just to kind of, you know, let people know that there are people out there so that you can walk up and say hi. And I've never known a person to ever say, hey, when I walked up to Jim Self, you know, he didn't act like he didn't know me, or, you know, he was too busy. You're always so friendly and talking to everybody. So I know from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that. You're on, normally I ask people if they can follow you on social media. You're on social media. If you want to follow Jim Self, he's Jim Self on social media. If you want to follow us, we're geesamanhomes.com. We have a YouTube channel under Geesaman Homes, and then we also have Instagram and Facebook. So you'll see them on the bottom of the screen kind of coming across. So if you want to check us out, we're doing this each week. This upcoming Tuesday, I can't think right now. On Thursday, not Tuesday. On Thursday, we're going to interview a friend and client of ours, Jackie Showalter. She actually manages Kona Ice, which everybody right now is getting Kona Ice delivered to their house. It's like something that you can do right now. So make sure to tune in on Thursday for that. And then if you have ideas, I know I kind of keep repeating this, but if you think of somebody, Jim, we wrote down the people that you mentioned, so I'll try to reach out to them. If I can't get a hold of them, I might contact you to see if you can at least connect us. Hopefully that'll be okay. But we'd love to have ideas. We want to bring people on that people want to see. And so we want to try to just build kind of a database so that if somebody is moving new to Fishers and they want to kind of know about the athletic department, they can, you know, watch this video and get to know Jim and kind of what the athletic department is about, and know that it's such a good program. So anyways, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on here. If we have any other questions, I might reach out to you if somebody has a question. I fully enjoyed it. I loved bringing back my Royals. I will always be a Royal. It's just, it's in me. I know that technically my kids are Fishers High School, but I will always be a Royal. So thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and you guys have a wonderful night.